Hello everybody and welcome to, I think it's chapter 22, and I've had a real hard time sitting down in front of the camera and doing it. I feel like I'm very unprepared. I feel almost like it's the very first episode all over again. So yeah, there's fun. Okay. The first thing is I'm wearing my summer vacation, knit summer vacation top. I think is the name of it. It's by Mama in a Stitch. I did make some modifications. It's very comfortable. I like it. I like wearing it over things. I'm wearing it over a dress today. So there's that. And so, objects. If you've been watching, you know that I was working on this sweater vest, summer top, I don't know. Right here, it is finally finished. It is not blocked. I just finished it last night. I'm really hoping that it's got like this drop collar here. During editing, I'll pop a picture in, and then but it has just this really, it's really pretty. I don't know how to describe it, but it is the Petrie sweater. Just Petrie. Last time we talked, I was down here at this yellow marker. Me and dropped stitches on this thing right here. Whew. So I was up in Michigan over the holiday weekend. Memorial Day weekend was last weekend in May here in the States, and I was way up here. I was getting almost getting ready to do my arm shaping, and I noticed a drop stitch like right in the middle, and I was like, ugh. And I knew that if I tried taking it up that it would not, it would look tight, and because I've done it before. So down I go, I drop it down, and I knit almost all the way back up to that, and there's another dropped stitch. I was so mad. I was trying to pay attention, and I don't know how I missed it, but so I've knit like from here to here 3 or 4 times. I should have had it finished over last weekend, but I didn't. But yeah, this is a free pattern, Petrie, Petrie, and I like it. I might be making me another one, but if I do, I might go ahead and make it in the round, because the bottom from here, from your underarm down, doesn't need to be seamed, and then you do the front and the back separately anyways. So yeah, I might modify it and make it in the round. Something that I did have finished before the holiday weekend, I just didn't podcast for a couple weeks before that, was my little sweater, my little pink sweater for my boss. This is also a free pattern. It is the vertebrae, and it's it's a frontless cardigan for newborns, so when they're wearing it and they spit up, they don't spit up all over the pretty sweater. There you go. It is, I made it out of Karen Baby. I know it's an acrylic yarn, so that it's not hard to take care of for the mom. I don't want her to have to hand wash anything. So I did just make it out of some acrylic yarn I had in my stash. Then I made her, I think I talked about this one time, and it is just a cute little baby blanket and a granny stripe. And I like having this here. This is what I made it out of. Right there. So yeah, so the baby blanket is done and the sweater is done. I do have some of this left over. I have that one and another ball. I don't know if I could get a matching. I want to do some kind of, I think, a cardigan, another cardigan in a different style out of this, not another vertebrae. So who knows? That is the end of my finished projects, and the only whip that got any love this week, because I did say that in the last explaining about the new format that I was only going to show one whip, and my whip was my finished object, my green. So this is the only thing that's gotten love in the past like week and a half, trying to get this finished. And that's all of what I've got now. My neighbor across the street from me, her husband passed away about a year ago. And then, like the end of March, she found out she had cancer and was gone within 3 weeks. And yesterday, her family was over there cleaning out the house. And my husband saw something that, I mean, they were just throwing everything away. And my husband saw this little drawer organizer that he's like, oh, I could use that for some of our granddaughter's clothes because she comes over here anyways. So we went over there to ask him if we could take that out of the thing. And I saw this. And I was like, I know what that is. And it was open and I could see there was stuff coming out of it. Do you like yarn? I love yarn. You know, I knit and I crochet. And she said, oh, hold on. And she starts digging out these totes. There were 3 totes. I mean, not big, huge totes. They were this size totes. So this has got all kinds of acrylic yarn in it. They were all in like balls. I started caking them up last night. But yeah. One of them had a lot of these. And there was 2 of them. And I started looking at them. I'm like, what in the world is that? One of them had about 10 pairs of these. And I start looking at these flat things and I'm going, oh my goodness. She's made all of these slippers. And, but she hasn't sewed them together. She hasn't seamed them. She took all the time, she done all of the knitting, but none of the seaming. So I have about 30 pairs of these. These are the only 2 that are not done because they got left on my bed when I was organizing everything yesterday, because of course I came home and went straight to organizing. I have 29 pairs of slippers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send these to my grandmother for Project Marv. They're not blankets, but hey, you know, they little house slippers. Everybody loves a house slipper. And I saved a set for me. I think these are so, I love the gray, but they're super soft and fuzzy. I think gonna take and before I send these up to my grandmother for Project Marv, get like some puff paint or whatever and put a little bit on the bottom, put something on there so that they don't slide, because they are very slippery. So I don't want anybody walking around in them and falling. So, but yeah, I saved this set for me, and I saved back a couple of sets for my grandkids up in Michigan. Send them. But yeah, I was so excited. At first, like, I didn't know what they were, and I was like, oh, I'll just take them apart and use them for blankets for Project Marv. But then when I saw that they were what they were, I was like, oh, I can just, I mean, it did take me a good long time. It took me probably close to 5 or 6 hours. So then, as I'm looking through all of that stuff, and I'm sorry if you hear crinkling, this is all cotton yarn. So there's all kinds of cotton here too. And I found the cotton and I'm like, well, she wasn't making slippers out of the cotton yarn, was she? But no. No, where did it go? She was making washcloths. Dish towels. And I love them. I love my knitted dishcloths. So as I'm digging through there and just admiring all of the yarn, I did find a couple of non-acrylic yarns. So I did find this one, which I have 3 cakes of it. It's the Shepherd's Wife, which is 100% wool, and let me tell you, it is woolly wool. But it's not, I would say maybe sport. Either, yeah, because I think it's a little heavier than fingering, but it's not an Aran. But yeah, that's all I've got on it. It's just that label right there. That's it. I don't know where. I mean, the Shepherd's Wife. I don't know where that's at. But I've got 3 of these, so I don't know what I'm gonna make. But it is definitely very toothy. Very, very. Yeah. It's like dry almost. It's very dry. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see with that. But then there was this, and this was, she had made it into a project. But because I didn't know, I didn't have the pattern, I didn't know what it was, I didn't have a name of the pattern, nothing. I did go ahead and I took it apart. If I can't make it, there was no need in keeping it like that. So I did take it apart, and I have this much of it, and I don't know if this is just one, if it's like 2 cakes, but she's the one who cut it into 2 like this. When I took it apart, I found it, there was a cut edge, so I don't know if she done it or what. But it is Jupiter Moon Farm. I'm assuming the colorway is Moonshine, and it's glasses. Crazy lady needs glasses. 40% wool, 40% alpaca, and 20% silk. And I can feel the silk. It's very, very nice and silky. So, but yeah, so there is that one. And again, she did like to travel after. She did travel before her husband passed and after. So, and then there was this one. I don't know if another piece of this is in those slippers or if it was in something else that she's made and gave away. I don't know. But this is what I've got left. I don't have any tags for it. I have no idea of the fiber content. Nothing. This is it. But it's really pretty. It's, again, I would say a fingering or a sport, because it's fairly thin. But I can't wait to try to make something with it. Oh, I found the green that I was looking for earlier. So then she probably had 10 different projects going, and I've got a ton of needles. She did have a lot of projects on these bamboo needles, but she did like straight needles, because this is what they were all on. I don't know if that's just what she was used to. I don't have any idea. She's a very quiet person. She didn't socialize with the neighbors a lot. I knew her name. That was about the extent of it. So, but yeah. Also in that, and there was a lot of projects that she like started and didn't finish. There was even some that she would like, because these are there's a pattern right here. This is a Lion Brand pattern. This is Bret Hart, and they're the dragon scale mitts that she made. And these are tiny. They look really tiny. I mean, they stretch kind of good, but still, I don't know. I wouldn't wear them just because they feel really tight on my hand. But there are 3 pairs that she has both of them. There's many that she only did one, and it looks like this. I probably have 5 or 6 that I only have one like this, and then she never made the second one. I don't know. I don't know what her I don't know any of her reasoning or anything like that, but the ones that I have a pair of, I'm going to make up, and this is another thing I'm going to send to my grandkids. They might like them, like these. These she made both. This one she made both of them, but she didn't sew them up, seam them. So I'll be seaming those. And then there's this one. This one is a complete finished one. But are done. So those have got to be sewed. Putting them all in there. So I know what needs to be finished. I did keep the pattern because it is a cute pattern. I might make some of my own. And then, and I'm sorry I don't have everything so close enough to me. I keep reaching across like that. It's really bad. But I found in the one of the bags, because there was like the 3 totes, and then there was a bunch of like grocery plastic bags full of projects and yarn, and it was fun to go through. But I found this where it says Grandma's Knitted Slippers. I don't know if this was actually her grandma's pattern or what. I don't know, but I mean, there's lots of markings there. I'm going to try to read through there and decipher through all of her hash marks if I can figure out what the actual pattern is. Maybe that's something I can make for Project Marv as well. Then something else that was in there was these right here, and there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. I don't want to finish. I don't want to finish a project. I will like sew them together and make something out of it. I thought about putting 4 squares together and just making a little boho bag, front and back. It would be really, paper thin. It would just be the 2 together. Thought about that. I do have this, so I could, in theory, sew the 4 together on each side, and then and make a strap that goes all the way along the edge to make it an inch thick or something like that if I wanted to. I don't know. You guys have any ideas? Drop a comment below and let me know. But yeah, that's something else that I've got to finish up. The only other thing I've got is when I was up in Michigan, my daughter gave me this cute yarn. It is from Michaels, the Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed Luxe. It's called August Rose. She caught it on sale for $3.99. Lucky her. It is... sorry, my nose. 99% superwash merino wool and 100% metallic polyester. But yeah, it's really pretty. And I really can't wait to cake it up and maybe make something with it. So, other than that, the only thing I've got left and to talk about is our Bible verse of the week. So this is something new that I'm doing, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. So, back on with the classes. First, I'm gonna read it in two different versions. The first one is the King James Version out of the Rainbow Study Bible. And it is Psalm 139, 13, and 14. So, for thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. King James. Now we're going to read it out of, this is my Touchpoint Bible in the New Living Translation. And it says, you made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous, and how well I know it. So in talking about that, what I had a hard time with was figuring out how I was going to explain what that verse means. So when I looked at this Bible, it has something down here, and it says, a look at human anatomy gives us just a glimpse of God's creative genius. Who could conceive and design the intricacies of the human body, then move into the complexities of the human mind? Who could dream of being that would... let me start that again. Who could dream of a being that would be something like God, yet not God? A being who could choose God and walk with Him and live with Him forever. The next time you wiggle a finger, take a step, have a dream, enjoy a meal, solve a problem, or speak a sentence, take a moment to stand in awe of God and praise Him for making us so marvelously. I liked that verse for a couple of reasons. One, verse 14, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, is one of my favorite verses. I drew blank on. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. When it talks about fearfully, it's not talking about being scared. It's being in awe, which if you look up the definition of fearfully, that is one of its definitions, is being in awe. It's actually an adverb, which is caused by fear, dread, apprehension, or awe. When you're standing there in awe of something, you can be standing there in something in fearful of it. My words just tripped all up in my mouth, and I'm very sorry about that. But I've always been in awe of the complexity of the human body, and that God had created it, and we're one of a kind. There's not another being that's like us in the world that God created. Nothing. The bugs all have similarities that are very close to each other. And yes, apes, monkeys, whatever, they're close to us, but they're nowhere near our complexity. They cannot speak. They cannot do the things that human beings can do, and that is because we are fearfully and wonderfully made. God, thank you for this time that we had together, and thank you for everybody who stayed to the very end to hear the Bible verse today. I really hope that I was able to express that your feelings, and that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you knit us together in our mother's wombs, and that no other being is like the human being. Please be with each and every one of the people who watched the video today. Let it spark some kind of adventure, something that they want to dive deeper into knowing your word and to knowing you. In your precious name I pray. Amen. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.